Morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. This is Let's Talk with Kay, with me, of course, Kay, where I talk about fitness, wellness, health, and I add a little spirituality and sometimes talk about pop culture. And I want to talk about a tough topic today. But before I do so, I just want to give you a little update first. I keep apologizing. I want to apologize for the days that I've missed on uploading my videos, but I'm gonna try to be more consistent for the next following days. And also, you may see some I would say pre-recorded stuff, so you will know that. Maybe you will know that when you see the video. All depends on if I remember whether to add that or not, but you will know. And what else I want to say? So I'm also, as you can see, I got my camera horizontal, so I'm trying something new, just to kind of make some improvements to my content and things of that nature. So if you like it, like, share, subscribe, comment, and that way I will know. But I will kind of give you a little update about my life. I will say, of course, because I've been, because of my business been really, I will say, going up. It's been doing very well right now. I've been kind of late on my content, but like I mentioned earlier, I put my business first. And, once, like right now I'm trying to grow it even farther, so I'm listing a lot more things. So that means I'm busy with purchasing inventory, busy with photos, inventorying, and of course listings. So that's kind of why things have been I will say kind of not so consistent for the past couple of weeks. And also I recorded a video yesterday, so when I was trying to edit and have it ready this morning, which is I forgot to mention July what's the day? July the 31st. So yesterday I was trying to do the editing and all that type of stuff on the 30th, and I was looking, I'm like, no, I don't want to put myself out here like this. I'm like, my hair don't seem that great and all that type of stuff. So I just like scrapped it, and I'm gonna talk about it today, which I'm actually glad that I did anyway. And but yeah, it's been really busy preparing my daughter for school, so we've been getting ready for that, going to orientations and meet and greets with the teachers and the counselors at the school and such, and also the other administrators. Let me go ahead and get to the topic that I want to talk about, and it's kind of a tough topic, so I will give you a trigger warning to let you know, because I will say it was a little bit triggering for me at first, which I will explain later in the video. I want to go into the topic about families that are dealing with family members, or you could be a friend that's dealing with substance abuse, and it's really hard. And I will have to say what triggered it. I was watching a video. I will mention his name. He's really popular online. I believe that he's really been trending so far. And the topic, well, I will give you the content creator's name. His name is Lennon Honors. I'm giving him a shout out. Soon as I saw him on my, I guess, For You page, and I was like, what? He's spilling some tea about Umar Johnson. I have to subscribe. So I went on ahead and clicked that subscribe button, and I do not have no regrets. He was talking about Dr. Umar, and at first, the beginning of the live, it was like, fun and things like that. And it seemed like when more and more you got into the topic of Dr. Umar's alleged substance abuse issues, it just kind of took a dark turn. And I was like, and you can tell that, a lot of people, despite not liking Dr. Umar so much, it was like, man, this is sad. People had empathy towards him. And I can tell other people besides me was triggered, because I was starting to get triggered too. And I'm like, man, this is really sad. And I will have to say earlier during the day as well, I was kind of feeling heavy. I won't go into too much details and specifics because I want to protect the privacy not only to the person that that I know that's dealing with substance abuse problems, but also protect my privacy as well. So yeah, so I was kind of feeling kind of really sad and all that type of stuff, and then other things, I guess due to Mercury retrograde kind of getting in the mix there, bringing the past forward into the future, or to the present rather. And then later on, I'm trying to get myself more happier, upbeat, trying to do work and things. And then I start watching a video, not saying that what the content creator did was wrong. It wasn't his fault at all. But of course, it's a triggering topic, especially when you're dealing with it personally with a family member or a friend. So I was like, man, so I end up, one of the comments before I even go on, one of the comments was like, in a live chat was like, man, this is so sad. I have to go, and some other people were like, can you play, I guess, one of his songs that he created, this Snow Bunny Love song or whatever, or just do another song just to kind of lighten it up, but, and it got to the point I was like, it was late anyway, so I was like, I have to go ahead and leave. I'll probably catch the rest of it later on the replay. But I was like, so I went to bed, and I was like, and I guess those feelings that I had earlier that day kind of finally risen to the surface. And I'm like, man, and you're just like, and I guess if you don't know a little bit of my background, I'm not really close to my family. I'm pretty much estranged from them because of the toxicity, the narcissism, and other things that's kind of going on in those type of families. If you know, you know. And so you're trying to call somebody, but at the same time, when you're dealing with this in your life, it kind of brings kind of a little bit of shame, a little bit of guilt and things like that. So you don't really have too many people that you're really open about it with. So I was like, who should I call? Who should I, try to speak with? Because it was so heavy on my heart that I basically just kind of like, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I'm just going to be real. I'm being a little bit vulnerable here. I end up talking to, not talking to, but I end up thinking about whether I should call like a crisis line, because I was like, because normally situations like this, and I wasn't thinking about harming myself or anything like that. I was just like, dude, I was just like, didn't know what to do. I felt like I didn't know what actions to take. I felt guilty. I felt shame and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, so I just like, you know what, just go to Google. Let's just go to Google and talk to Google. So I just put in whatever I wanted to put in and search, and then I kept like, I guess trying to find the right search, to get the answers that I want. So basically, I found some resources and things of that nature, and which to me, it kind of gave me some ease or whatever, because I was like, you have so much on your mind, if you're a parent or if you're a grandparent, or just, you could be a sibling or somebody, and you just like, I don't know what to do. And and especially as a parent, you want to run and protect your child, from any type of hurt, harm, or danger. But at the same time, you're wondering, are you being an enabler with this type of stuff? So I got in some information, and it kind of put my mind at ease. And I kind of want to talk about that as well, because let's face it, I mean, first of all, I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and there is a huge problem with people that are abusing substances. And I know there are of course, obviously with that tells you, there are many families, no matter what race, no matter what sex, no matter what where you are in, the financial classes and all that type of stuff. You just, it affects anybody. You could be that parent who was loving, protective, did right by your kids, and your kids took a left turn, and you're like, dude, I didn't raise you like this. And so a lot of parents out there, a lot of family members, I'm gonna just be real, I'm a parent that's dealing with this, and you don't know what to do. And I will have to say, I know it's everywhere in this country, and sometimes I'm really frustrated that I feel like there is more that this country can do, or maybe it's things that we can do better, as a community, to basically, I guess, prevent our kids from, or family members from deciding to go that path. A lot of times it's not, at the end of the day, that as a relative or a parent, you don't control that person. You can't control that person. That person came here, to this dimension, and they will make their decisions or whatever. They're what you call it. There's free will. Everybody has free will to make a choice, and every day we deal with, what choices to make. And but what I want to mention, so I would just say, my heart is out there to those family members or friends or whoever that's, in this crisis here in this country. And I know other countries dealing with it, and I know, of course, the news here in the United States really don't report outside, or I'm not gonna say not report outside, they do, but I don't really think there is like a huge coverage comparing other countries to our country. But honestly, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. I need to look up some stats or whatever. But I don't think other countries are really dealing with it as bad as us. I mean, I went to Mexico, I would say as recent as last year, and I didn't see people hanging out in the streets. I didn't see, the things that I'm seeing here, which is really sad. Not saying that Mexico should be dealing with the same things as us. I feel like in this country, I feel like we should be doing a lot better, considering that we have more money and more resources here than, Mexico and other places that are similar. But yeah, so I don't want to kind of make this video a trauma bonding type of experience. I want to basically say that I'm not alone, you're not alone in this, and I just want to be like a resource out here. And also, like I mentioned in my intro, that I do talk about health and wellness, and one of the things that people need to really think about and put as a priority is their health and wellness when dealing with this. Because if you have a really close family member that's dealing with this issue, it is so easy to neglect it's easy to neglect your hobbies. It's easy to neglect your diet. It's easy to neglect, what if you exercise, or if you are exercising and things like that, it's easy to let that fall on the wayside, like really not think about it, and you're just putting all your focus on that child. And also, let's face it as well, a lot of people that are abusing substances, I believe 99% of them have really serious mental issues. And and some people with mental issues, they, get the help and support they need, and use the resources that are offered to them. Some just self-medicate. And I'm not gonna be here to judge, because I know there are a lot of people out there that are judge other folks, which brings on the shame, which brings on the guilt on different family members and friends. And I'm not here to judge or anything like that, because I don't know each person's walk. And you could have been the best parent. There's no such thing as perfect parents. I know that sounds so cliche. Even the narcissists out of the groups are using it, which makes it even worse, But I will say you can do the best you can. And I will say when it comes to my kids, I provide the resources they have. If they having issues, say they need to talk with someone, they talk to me, or they can talk to a counselor, whether that's at a school or whether that's outside of a school. So I'm really open and supportive as a parent. But like I mentioned, you can do the best that you can as a parent, and still, wonder, what did I do? Where did I fail at? But that's neither here or there. And I'm not gonna, be a judge of that. I feel like as parents, we experience a lot of judgment towards us anyway. And I have to put it, especially as a mother, I believe mothers, not knocking the fathers, but there are some good fathers out there. But I feel like, and especially, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room, because I am a black person, I am, a black woman, and I feel like in our community, it's really bad. And I believe that, from the crack epidemic on, it's been a dumpster fire. And I feel like in our community, getting mental health, and seeking out those resources, which sadly enough in 2025 is still a very taboo subject. So I would say, don't worry about anybody else. I will say, and we are a very religious community. We people that tends to go to church or whatever, which I don't. But I will have to say that even with that, I will say, if you have a relative or a child or whoever, and I'm speaking mainly on adult children, but there are young people out there that are dealing with this as well. I will say, unfortunately, I ain't gonna say, well, the reason I'm saying unfortunately, a lot of people, they do go to their clergy to try to get help with this, but that's, to me, unfortunate, because they don't have the skills to tackle this situation. I feel like people, in general, all people, minimize psychology. They minimize mental health, behavioral health. And I'm so glad in these past recent years that mental health in certain terms, such as narcissism, especially narcissism, is brought to the forefront, because I would say in 10 years ago, or less than 10 years ago, rather, I didn't know. No, I would say I take that back, because I'm thinking about the time when I was going into a divorce, and that was back in 2009. So yeah, I would say almost, it's gonna be like close to 20 years. I didn't know, at that time, 20 years ago, I didn't know the term narcissism or anything like that. And we didn't have social media the way it is right now. Social media was in its infancy. So basically, Google and all that was like, we didn't really know how to use Google to look for stuff. And I pretty much, because that was like 2008, 2000, no, it was 2009. During that time, I was going through my divorce and realizing that I was dealing with a narcissist. And during that time, I felt very, very alone and things of that nature. But now I'm so happy that people are realizing the term narcissist. They realize now that, oh, maybe I have, or I am currently dealing with a narcissist, whether that's, a parent, a sibling, a coworker or a manager or whoever, and I feel like they're taking back their mental health. So I know I just rambled on there and I kind of forgot what I was. Oh yeah, I remember. So I believe that now people are more open. I would say maybe in the Black community as well, are being more open to get the help they need and not feeling so much shame to cut off toxic parents, toxic siblings, or whole family, or whoever, because that can really affect your mental health. And I feel like, just to go off on a little tangent, you may have to kind of leave that family member or just the whole family, just to kind of just to be able to look from the outside in to see what you're dealing with and kind of be able to ground yourself and get the help you need to tackle that issue. Because I feel like when you're surrounded in that type of culture, which to me it seems cultish in my opinion, that it's not really like a close-knit bond or familiar bond or anything like that. But I would say get the help you need. Don't feel ashamed about it or anything like that. Just go out and get the help you need to be able to process what you're dealing with as a family member. So some of the websites I went to kind of was really helpful, and it kind of, I ain't gonna say kind of, but it did give resources outside of that website that you can explore. And I would say one was, if I remember correctly, Anon, maybe what they call it, I guess AA, I guess for Alcoholic Anonymous, I don't know, I'll put it on the screen, Anonymous, I believe. And the website, I don't remember the exact website that I went to, or a couple of them, but they gave some boundaries and some tips to consider when dealing with a family member that's abusing drugs. And some of the things that were helpful to me was, one, I guess give up the enabling patterns. For example, to make this short, let them hit rock bottom. And as a parent, that was hard, but as a person that's really mentally healthy, and plus I got another child at home, I'm like, and sparing, and I'm saying this out of love, because we experienced a lot of chaos and turmoil and drama and things of that nature in our household. And and it's like, dude, I can't enable you. I'm not going to go out and buy things for you. I'm not going to give you money so you can go out and do things. You got to hit rock bottom, and that's hard to say as a parent or a family member. And if you're going to jail or whatever, you might have to stay in, because it may be safer in there than it is for you to be out and be back in that environment. So it may be better for you to stay, in a sense, that person that's dealing with, drug habits. And what else? I'm sorry if I'm saying and because honestly, this is a heavy topic to me, and I'm being really not patient, but I'm being really mindful of what I say and things of that nature, because I know it's a sensitive topic, and I do not want to offend anybody. I'm trying my best to not offend anyone or really trigger somebody and sound like I'm being very insensitive. So I'm trying to be really, really careful with my words right now, out of respect. So I will say, So the enabling habits, another thing is if that person experienced a DUI, DWI, and lost their driving privileges, what was suggested was not to drive that person back and forth to different places, whether it's a job or whatever, because that's making it easier for them not to feel those consequences. So if they have to call an Uber every day, that's something they have to do, Uber or Lyft. And I would say if they may have to call that family member or friend, they're going to be like, hey, you're going to have to give me some change, to take you back and forth. They may have to, go to that family member, and it's probably best for any family members. That's another thing that I just thought of. How should I put this? If you have a loving, supportive family member that you trust very well, or family members, because this may not always work with other family members, because it's probably better for you not to say anything to the toxic family members, because it might affect you mentally if they're judgy and all that type of stuff. But if you have a loving, caring, supportive, mature family unit, I would say let them know, hey, such and such has a DWI or whatever, and in order for this person to get help, I will suggest to you not to drive them around also. I'm not a professional, but that's just my opinion, because if you're not doing it, that they might not need to do it, because that's kind of hindering their progress. And so if that person feels those consequences of their actions, they will better able to get them to decide to get help, basically, instead of just enabling them. Because I feel like once you enable them and consistently enable them, they will basically doing substances will be easier for them than deciding not to. And also having boundaries as a friend or family member is very important, because let's face it, dealing with this will basically affect you mentally, and it can get you on a path, a downward spiral into depression, anxiety, or other things. If you don't have those healthy boundaries, it will affect you negatively. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're doing all these activities or taking care of yourself, if once you start focusing on a family member with no boundaries or anything like that, next thing you know, your health is declining. And when your health is declining physically and mentally, how are you going to help other family members when you're not your best? When your cup is empty, you ain't going to be able to help other family members that's not going through the issues that I'm talking about, but they will need your help and support. And you will need to put yourself first as well. I know it's hard for a lot of people, especially me in the past, to say no to a lot of things, but right now I don't have that issue. But if you are having an issue, find some resources out there, get the counseling that you need. Go to A-Anon meetings, and I'm planning on doing that. Go to AA meetings and things of that nature. Set up family counseling, or individual counseling. Do all that. I believe that is very important. And if you don't have the money to do that, I will say look at the resources. Just go and search up resources that you can find out there that will help you. Because I know some clinics have a sliding scale to that they will use, and also, like, as far as the boundaries, if a family member who's having this issue asks you for your help, as far as allow them to stay with you, I will say, based on my readings online, and everything is, it's not a one size fits all. It all depends on your state, your laws, and your family culture, and the ins and outs of everything. So you have to consider all that. I'm just a person on here that's basically talking online. So I would say, for example, I'm gonna just put it that way, hypothetically speaking, let's say you have that family member come to your door and knock and like, hey, I need a place to stay, but yet they still on substances. They can tell you they're not, but you can just look and like, but I will say you have to let them know that, hey, you can live here, but under certain conditions. You will have to get the help that you need. If you agree to that, depending on what type of help it is. If I don't know what type. I know there's programs out there that's, maybe allow that person to go back and forth from home to the clinic or the hospital. Some just, you get the help just at the hospital, and you can't go outside of that hospital. I guess like a treatment center and such. So I would say, that they have to accept that help. If you want to live here, where you will get help with food, clothing, shelter, and other resources, if you want to enjoy those privileges because they're grown, they don't have a right to live with you, especially under these type of circumstances, they will have to get help. They will have to agree with that. They will have to go. If they decide not to get help, then they really didn't experience their rock bottom. So you just have to gently tell them, hey, well, at this time, I'm sorry, but you cannot stay here. You have to get clean first. Because let's face it, a lot of, I would say 100% of the time, they're not thinking clearly. They far from thinking clearly. Even if you think about the functional ones, the functional abusers, they still not thinking clearly. And so they have to hit their rock bottom because let's face it, if they go back in your home, they will be continuing to do, they will continue to abuse substances, and they're going to affect you. If you have a partner living with you or kids living with you, it's going to affect them negatively. It's like a virus. And believe me, I understand. It's like a virus. It's going to affect you. It affected me. It's going to affect your kids or loved ones that's living with you negatively. So I will say, and that's not selfish. That just came to my mind. It's not selfish to think like this. We've been conditioned as a culture to think all of this is selfish, especially as women. You have to give, self-sacrifice, and all this type of stuff. But at the same time, I believe that if a lot of people, the majority of the people, get out of that type of culture, I would say, not to sound judgy or anything like that, but it's just my belief, including me. I was the same way. I was a people pleaser. It will be, I believe things will be better. I believe it will force a lot of these addicts to get help. Because let's face it, they will either decide, hey, I don't like this life. I used to have a good life. Now my life is a dumpster fire right now. And I'd rather change, or else I'm going to be sleeping on the side of the road, begging or doing strange things for some change, something that's totally out of character for me. So you see, they're going to choose that lifestyle or choose to get clean. And I believe everybody deserves to be clean and live a joyous, happy life here on this earth, because right now in this body, in this incarnation, because I'm a spiritualist, we living on this earth one time in this present, and I feel like everybody deserves happiness, joy, and things. And enabling an addict is basically keeping them depressed, down, you know, mentally and physically, you know, and they don't deserve it either. Not saying that you have to run out there and start enabling them, because at the end of the day, it's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect everybody, you know, and nobody's happy. So I would say maintain strong boundaries. Don't engage or stop the engaging activities, and also don't forget about yourself. Take care of yourself. It's not selfish. I had to think about that a lot. A lot of things when I started really taking care of myself, started putting myself first. At first, I thought it was selfish, because let's face it, I grew up in a household that made me feel like, hey, thinking about yourself was selfish, and it's not love. And then also you have the culture, like I said, that kind of conditions us to be like really self-sacrificing, really and nobody's happy at the end. It's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health or anything like that. That's the basic things. Like when you think about this, everybody should know the story that, hey, if you're on a plane and when you're looking at the what they call the flight attendant, talk about the instructions as far as using a air mask or whatever it's called. They tell you to put it on first, the parent to put it on first before you put it on your kids, because let's face it, if you ain't taking care of yourself, you ain't gonna be able to take care of nobody else. And your kids and your family members, they can sense whether you're not happy or something's just not right. But so I really don't have anything else to say about that. If I remember during the editing process to post some resources or whatever, I will do that, or I'll post it in my description. But I know it's a heavy topic, so if you're watching this, please breathe in, breathe out, relax, pay attention to your body, let the tension out. Everything's gonna be okay. Just, you know, send light and love to that family member or a friend. I'll send light and love to you guys. And if you enjoy the content today, or if you've been watching my videos and enjoyed previous videos, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell to remember, and also comment and share. I like to hear your thoughts about it. You know, I want my channel to be more like a community, you know, instead of a person just talking at you or whatever. So hey, I'm making friends here in this YouTube streets. And also building up my channel on trying to think, TikTok. So follow me on TikTok, Let's Talk with Kay. And I got a little few videos out there, but I'm gonna start creating more videos, pretty much talking about, I will say, more obscure things. And I'll probably, you know, do some chopping up of these videos and make shorts out of these videos, as well as putting them out there on TikTok as well. So yes, so I hope you guys are having a great day. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.